Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Not how I planned on the orientation being, but... Okay. But screw it, we will try it this way. Not how I do things, not normally how I want to do it, but we will try it nonetheless. We will go from there. Alright, hello everyone. I apologize for being a little gone, but I was able to get the Skaven that we did get built the other night painted, well, primed. So hopefully we're going to get them painted tonight. And also, I'm going to prime Samus over here sometime during the stream when I'm waiting for the paint to dry on everyone else. Alright. First off with all of this, I want to experiment a little bit with some of the purples I have. Because I know I want to do a purple for the robes on the Skaven. Just because the gray-green is okay, but I want to see if I can do something a little bit more evil looking. Because, come on, they're throwing poison everywhere. What's the point in only using green for poison? I'm thinking right now, I want to experiment a little bit. So I think I'm going to try using purple hex and then witch purple, just to see how those look. Because with any luck, one of those will be what I want. And then hopefully from there, I can just get everything figured out. Yo, what's up, Anthony? Man, I hate how these bottles work sometimes. Okay. But yeah, sorry, it's a little late to stream, so I'm just getting all my paints set up right now. And I need a brush. You know what? I'm not entirely sure what all that means, Crab, but I understand. I understand on a spiritual level. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. I don't normally stream at this aspect ratio, but my phone decided to change it on me last minute, so we're just working with this for now. Fair, fair. Okay. Alright, so that's going to take a lot of layering. Oh, shoot. That sounds like a blast. Then we're going to try swapping out for a different brush. If the chat would stop disappearing, that would be nice. I'm just experimenting right now. I'm not certain if I want to do pink for the for the robes itself. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm just trying to experiment with the purples that I have, because I bought the Vallejo purple fantasy set a while ago, and I haven't really been able to use all of them. But kind of just trying to do a coat to see what I prefer, because the idea right now is I'm going to be doing green for the globes that they throw. But then my question is, once I do the actual robes, what color goes better with the green? I'm leaning towards the hex purple right now, because I think if once this dries after a few layers, and if I throw on the occultist black speed paint on top of it, I think that would look better. But I don't know. I just didn't want to go with the typical gray to green robes that they normally have. Just because, yeah, it works. But I just didn't want to do green all the way for everything that was poison, and then just give them green clothing. It's like, oh yes, we get it. You're very green. You're very much poison. Like, because, you know, poison can be many other colors. It doesn't have to be green. Also, hey James, how's it going? Sorry, I'm streaming at a new aspect ratio because my phone is dumb, and the chat disappears on me. Bright pink outfit? We'll see. We'll see how these guys turn out. I'll work on it. And purple is poison coated. That is kind of why I wanted to use it. But I also just have a large assortment of purples that it felt easier to experiment with them than just with the 3 greens. I'm doing all right overall. A little tired. I threw out my back from having a little too much fun at volleyball last night, so I wasn't able to make it to work today. So, a little miffed about that, but overall, I'm good. Just here, trying to relax, trying to keep my back from getting much worse. And I was very impatient, because since I didn't have work today, I had time to paint. So I'm working with that. Oh, goodness gracious, I need to reposition this, because normally... No, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah, I'm aware orientation is locked. Thank you, YouTube. Just trying to see what works best. Can I just work like... I mean, purple is just fun as a color. Depending on what you're running, purple just works with a lot as just a contrast color in general. Oh yeah, and since I never actually did it I wasn't able to do it live, this is how the shark sword looks now that it's primed and attached to my commander for the squadron. As you can see, there's a little shark face there, and then the sharks on either side of the actual guard. I decided to give him a bit more of a dramatic pose and base. And yes, big sword. But we need the big sword for the commander. I'm hoping it's swooshable. He needs to backstab, he needs to gaslight, gatekeep, and girl boss as well. A Monster Hunter rat. Honestly, yeah. The fact that he's got one hand on this and another hand with a poison globe, yeah. He's a Monster Hunter rat. Oh, that's what I should have done to clickbait for the title and just called it the Monster Hunter Rat Commander. That would have worked. Ah, well, too late. Okay. But for now, I'm just trying to get a base layer of the purple on the sky. Because once I get the base layer, I'll probably get a second layer on this, just so that way the purple is vibrant. Because then after that, I wanted to use my Occultist Black Speed Paint to kind of dim everything. And then my idea afterwards to make it more dirty is I'm going to take my... I've got a snakebite leather contrast paint that I think I'm going to throw over the top, kind of like a wash, a super thin layer, to make everything look dirty. So once I dim the purple and everything, I then want to throw a bunch of browns everywhere to make it dirty. That is the initial idea and goal I have so far for these guys. But we shall see. And also I got dared to make one of them pink, so I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do from there. Because there is a way. I've got a couple of the pink purples that I think could work. But bit by bit, we will figure that out as we go along. Oh yeah, and sometime later, I also plan to prime Samus up, because I bought this mini a little while ago, and I never had the chance to do anything with it. But I do have some yellows and blues, so I could easily make her actual fusion suit. So I want to do that later too, at least get her primed. Just while I wait for the paint to dry on these guys. Because that is a fun project I want to work on. There's a Warhammer preview today? Oh. I have not been keeping up with the news. Though I am curious what they're going to do for the preview. Because every time they have an announcement, something always seems to go down. Chorfs? I am not familiar with that word. I don't entirely know what that entails. Though I will say, I saw on Twitter recently X. I saw on X to that somebody, like a few days ago. Oh, the Chaos Dwarves. Okay. Okay, now that makes more sense. Now that it's explained. Okay. I will say, though, I saw some of the minis keep posting about big hats. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. But yeah, no, one thing that I saw is somebody's posted some of the new minis from the Necromunda set, and I might just get them so I can kit bash them into an Imperial Guard faction. Because bringing it back to my normal stuff is I run a Dark Kraken's army, is what I've been painting and building for my Imperial stuff. And a lot of what I saw for the Necromunda minis is that they have full-on suits that I could easily kit bash into looking like scuba or diving suits. So that way it's a guard regiment from the ocean death world. So I can have a guard regiment accompany my Dark Krakens. That seems thematically correct. Eternal Fate of Necromunda kit bash for 40k armies. Yeah, I've heard a lot. Playing lots of Gears of War, and it's insane how well Emil from Retrans. Emil translates well, I think, to almost any shooter setting. He's just the sarcastic guy who has a comeback for anything that's said. And he's terrifying enough that you never want to actually meet him on the battlefield as an enemy. Or in the case if you're Badger, you don't want him as an ally, or else he'll knock you across the map. But yeah, no, I am curious, because now that I know that there is an actual Warhammer announcement coming, I am curious to see what they do talk about. Because I don't know too much about anything outside of 40k, but I would be curious to know if they're doing anything exciting or interesting. Because I am getting the Skaven just because I like the Skaven, but I am willing to try out some of the other Age of Sigmar factions, besides the Stormcast and the, whatchamacallit. Crap, what's the name? The humans. I'm not too invested in them. And yeah, I'm gonna layer that pink on a few more times for this guy. I think this guy's got the most unique helmet of the group, and so I think I'm gonna make him the pink one, just to see how that works out. Look at Daughters of Cain. Oh yeah, no, I absolutely will. I just acquired a little bit of extra cash, and so I will be checking out a couple of things. I mean, first I need to pay my hospital bills and my car, and getting ahead on my car payments. But outside of that, once I'm done with that, I'll be looking at Daughters of Cain. I'm gonna wail on the Uma Musume game for a little bit because I am not smart. I will phrase it like that. Then, sorry. Playing as a pain train in Gears 5. Just shoulder charging enemies into red mist and absolutely destroying any ground-based boss with charging, dodging, and charging again. Ah, okay. Wait, that's not the right guy. Where is he? There he is. I just have $100 if I get into a gacha. Well, depending on the gacha, it can be worth it. Like, Zenless Zone Zero is one I played quite a bit until I forgot how to log into my account when I had to change phones. Zenless Zone Zero is fun because the combat was genuinely fun to play. So I had no problem doing the dailies for ZZZ, and the character animations were so bouncy and filled with life that I wanted to be involved with ZZZ all the way. I liked it a lot. And again, depending on the gacha, it can be worth it. Uma Musume is fun. I enjoy it. But that's also because it takes me back to when I was younger. Because growing up, my grandmother would watch the Kentucky Derby quite a bit. And so I spent a lot of time watching and learning about the horses from her. She never bet money on it, at least as far as I knew she never did. But I do like racing in general, and the horse races were fun enough that turning the racing horses into cute anime women, yeah, that's going to get my attention as a weeb. So it kind of hits the same tickle as, like, it hits the same part of my brain as racing stuff, but it also hits the same cute factor that anime can sometimes hit as well. So Uma Musume is definitely going to be a game I play for a while. Not to mention, we are years behind the Japanese current state of the game, as they just gave us like one of the original base games, like base versions of the game. So it's good, but they do release some patches and fixes later on, as well as release new characters and outfits. And I sincerely hope we get the KFC collab, because I've seen some of the animations posted by the Japanese bros, and gosh dang, some of them are adorable. That, and also I got my heart broken learning about the lore behind Rice Shower. She is too precious. I say she as in the anime version, he in the real life, but he was already euthanized because his trainer really, well, it wasn't even his trainer, it was his owner, I think, that really wanted him to gain more notoriety before retiring. And it was that last race that he shattered a leg on the race course. Okay. But yeah, it's a tragic tale right there. Gosh dang, my hands are really shaky tonight. But yeah, we're going to let that dry off for a minute. And I need to find my silver so I can get started on those tanks. Because on the actual promotional image for the, on the box set, they gave their, like, stuff, and you can see what I mean by, like, the turquoise green to gray on their robes, I'm not the biggest fan of. I like the green on the tubing and the green for, like, the orbs. But I don't... It feels too similar having the canisters be that bronze color. Sorry, James. It's why I protect Rice Shower as much as I can on the actual game. As soon as I pulled her in the gacha, I knew I was keeping her and I had to upgrade her. But yeah, no. The story of the actual horse Rice Shower is very tragic. People... And what's worse is he did what he was supposed to. Rice Shower was winning races, but because people were losing money, because Rice Shower was too good, they started calling him the Black Assassin, because he'd come up at the end of the race, pass a bunch of the other racers, and just take first place. Which, you know, is exciting when you're voting and betting on Rice Shower to win the race. If you're betting against him, you start losing money, and, of course, some people aren't in it for the love of the game, they're in it because they want to make money on horse racing. There is a scene in the anime, so be prepared to view very sad, that they adapted from real life, where Rice Shower won a race, and the crowd started booing because they lost so much money on Rice Shower winning said race. And they put it in the anime, and gave her a very... I wouldn't say insecure, but she's very awkward and she doesn't have a lot of self-esteem. And so it hurts even more when you see the crowd booing her and she goes, "No, what did I do wrong? I won. Why are people not happy that I won?" Gosh, that scene hurts so much more. Then, hold on. Found a parody series of Warhammer on TikTok, should have forwarded it to you. Honestly, go for it, yeah. I have not been keeping up with my TikTok notifications as I should. I think I've got like, close to 100 notifications. Yeah. They did a good job at twisting the knife on everything about Rice Shower in the anime and the game. They made her a fan favorite design. I think her design is top tier, but I think black gothic dress with a top hat is a superior design choice for any setting, really. But they made her cute and wholesome, and then twist the knife and really crush your soul when that moment happens. They're very faithful to real life as they adapt a lot of quirks and different things that happen to them to what happens in the actual anime. Except when they die or get euthanized. They just straight up change that. Like Silent Suzuka, when she breaks her leg, she doesn't get better in real life. She broke her leg, and if I'm not mistaken, it was so bad they just euthanized her on the track. And in the anime, they send her to America. So that way she can still continue on cheering her teammates instead of dying in front of their faces. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of appreciate that change. Because gosh dang it, after building her up so much in Season 1 and then just having her die in front of her friends, that would be tragic. And I'm not sure I would have been ready for a series that cute to twist the knife that hard. Oh yeah, no, straight up. It's either, I can't remember if it's Rice Shower or Silent Suzuka who got it really bad. Yep, just like childhood pets all sent to the farm upstate. But yeah, it was either Silent Suzuka or it was Rice Shower who injured the leg so badly on the track that they were just euthanized on the track. because they were in so much pain. Like, it was horrific what happened that race. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. Yeah. So that's all the doom and gloom about that. Cute series. Definitely has some interesting stuff. But, So that gacha game has definitely got me in a grip for now. I'm stuck with it. But I'm also probably going to buy a few more kits, Warhammer kits, now that I got some extra cash. Because I do enjoy this. Like, so far, I've enjoyed building the Skaven minus their hand issues from the last stream. As you guys remember, I was not happy with some of those hands turned out. Oh yes, definitely now for a happy time. There's a time to be sad and there's a time to be happy. You gotta mix them both together. But yeah, because one thing I want to do as well is I want to get some more model stuff, because what I want to do is a lot of what I do for my kits is I kind of have a coast theme with all my basing stuff. Like for this one, I just didn't have the resin I wanted, and so I just use a bunch of millet put, and I'm gonna make this all look like a bunch of desert, well, not so much desert, but like a sandbar situation. Just so that it's like they're standing on the shoreline at a beach or something as they're invading on a coast. Or it's a dried up, oh wait, no, I think, yeah, because of this guy. I threw a piece of coral on there. So it's a dried up lake bed, and they're invading in an area after they just evaporated all the water or poisoned the water in a lake. So that's the idea for that. But then I also want to get some Dark Kraken minis. And what I want to do is I want to get the Phobos armor sets, and then I want to do it where on their legs I have it about like halfway up their shins to maybe up to their knees submerged in water. So that way it looks like they're walking or going along a coastline. So that gives a little bit more flavor on their basing. That's kind of what I want to do for the Phobos armor. And so I want to get some resin and some ink, so that way I can... Yeah, just so that way I can throw a little bit more interest, because I don't like I just want to be a little creative with my basing stuff. And since everything I've done so far is either water world or coastal focused, I figured I should try to experiment with that a little bit. Detonated a nuke under the lake bed and drained it. Yeah, that'd be Skaven. So send stand like. Yeah, kind of, yeah. Okay. Here. Over here. But yeah, that's kind of just my current goals with what I want to do for my models. And so that's kind of just the stuff. Now that I got a little bit of cash, I'm going to buy some of that. I also want to buy a Bloomburrow box for Magic. Oh, sandstone, like, yeah, yep. Basically, yeah. Yeah, so I just need to find some materials for getting my models and my just for my bases. Because another thing I need to do is I need to get some plastic rods so I can get this guy based and then primed and painted. Because he's part of the Jump Pack Intercessor group that I already finished. But the idea I had for him was I was going to only base him by putting a line of bubbles from the back of his pack in a curve section to make it look like he got up from the floor and started moving forward, like he got knocked back beforehand. Problem is, the super glue was not holding or taking as well to all the beads I had in the back, and so it was taking forever to get that done. And so I'm just gonna compromise and get a plastic rod in the back and go from there, because it'll be a little bit easier to get that stable, and then I can just glue the beads onto the rod in the middle. Oh goodness, my mind is stuck full of music right now. I don't know if you guys ever listen to it, but there's a artist, like a rave artist. They spell his name S3RL. I always called him Searle, but I've never heard anybody actually pronounce his name, so I don't know if I'm saying that correct. But I was on a nostalgia binge recently, and so I ended up listening to the MTC saga from him, and I forgot how catchy those damn songs are. Like, I like listening to them, but gosh dang it, they are way too catchy. I forgot. And then I started re-listening to a lot of his stuff, and so I've got songs like Shoulder Boulders, Cherry Pop, PSA stuck in my head, as well as MTC. I've got that music stuck in my head right now. Oh, sea shanties, huh? Always a good choice. Personally, I spend a lot of time listening to Sail North. I like a lot of his shanties. My favorite one is Broken Mast Bay and Against the Tide. I listen to those while I'm in the gym all the time. I absolutely love those songs. Let's see. That is drying. That's not. It's actually kind of turning out pretty well. You don't know him? Oh, I highly recommend. My favorite one from him is Broken Mast Bay. That's one of my favorite songs he's ever done. But I like his stuff a lot. It's got good energy. He's got a really nice voice, and it's very fun. So I highly recommend Sail North if you like sea shanties, because I definitely listen to a lot of his stuff pretty frequently. Oh, you know. Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, I misread the chat. Yeah, no, the chat disappeared on me, so I mixed up your comments. Okay, but yeah, no, yeah, really like his stuff. Da. Okay, no, that's fair. Longest Jongs are pretty good too. I've heard quite a few of their songs. Longest Jongs are pretty good. I mean, tasted music, as far as I'm aware, it for me, it's just as long as it sounds good, I'll listen to it. It just depends on, does it sound good to what I like? And what I like is varied at best. However, depending on where I'm at, I will listen to music for different reasons. Like if I'm in, like I like listening to lo-fi when I draw or when I'm reading, but I would never listen to lo-fi when I'm driving. That is way too calming. And on the flip side, if I'm trying to relax a little bit, there are definitely some songs that I might or may not play, just depending on how I'm feeling and what's going on at the moment. I keep forgetting my camera's in a different spot. I say camera as if I'm not streaming from my phone. My phone's at a different angle, and so I'm forgetting to get this guy in the right spot. Okay, we're just... Like, I'm gonna play this and 60% of the songs are from the Johns. Oh, that's fair. Gonna get a little bit of... Man, I swear, if this arm was built better... Anyways. Gonna get a little bit of silver right on the mask. Not clasp point on the hose. Last time I really listened to anything I was leveling in various ARPGs. There's a bunch of Vocaloid stuff. I will admit I'm not the most up to date on Vocaloid stuff, but I absolutely listened to Vocaloid stuff back in the day. When I first got into anime, it was because I was flirting with a girl, and I ended up finding out I really like the Kegamine Twins music. And so Butterfly on Your Shoulder was the one I liked the most. Up tempo to motivate me to blast through the campaign. No, that's fair. Butterfly on Your Shoulder was the first Vocaloid song I heard, but I think it was it Cinderella and Romeo or whatever it was? It was like a duo between those two that they did that I really liked the most between them. I thought they had some good music. Though I haven't listened to them in a while, so I'm probably going to listen to them once I finish stream just for old time's sake. Okay. You clean up ancient YouTube bookmarks. So many rotten links to Vocaloid music. Yeah. Actually, Anthony, now that since I'm going through memory lane, I need to ask: did you watch that MMD series where it was like all of the Vocaloids together in a high school setting? Did you ever watch that? Because I remember there was that series on YouTube I watched like back in 2012, 2013. I remember watching it years ago. I could not find the link or this series if I tried right now. But I remember watching it quite a bit back in the day. I cannot remember for the life of me what it was called though. No, I didn't watch that? Ah, okay. I'd say, because that was just something that was on my mind and I could not for the life of me remember. It's holy shit, this makes me feel old. It's been over a decade since I even last saw it, much less thought about it. Holy crap. That was when I was hip deep in Vocaloid stuff, so I must have just missed me. Ah, okay. Let's say, because I don't remember much about the series except every once in a while there'd be some sort of character moment, and then the Vocaloid having a character moment, said Vocaloid would then sing one of their songs that loosely relates to the story. I think it was a fan series, but I do not remember. It's something that I need to really look into and try to find again. Just because that old YouTube series were wild. They absolutely were. However, back in the day, gosh, because it reminds me of the old Abridged series, where you had a bunch of people that instead of doing an abridge of the entire series, they did like a... God, do you remember Marble Hornets? Oh, shit. Oh my gosh, that is a name I have not thought about. Oh my gosh, okay. I heard the name. I had a friend who knew about it. I never watched it. But I had a friend I remember he would talk about it quite a bit. Sniped. Yeah, no, I knew of it, but it was one that I don't know anything about it, but I know of it. That is a name I've heard, but that's as much as I can say. Yeah, it was an old friend of mine who was into it. Oh, goodness. Slenderman found footage? Ah. Gosh. Okay, thinking of old YouTube, apparently, so I follow a creator that I've known for a little bit. It's Candy Queen Charlotte. I just call her Charlie, but I've watched Charlie's content for a few years, and I follow her on X. And apparently, because she reposted this, there is a new episode for like Salad Fingers coming out. I did not know that the creator was still making episodes for Salad Fingers. So when I saw that a new episode was coming out, I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that series. I think the last I even thought about that series was my friend and I were reminiscing about when we watched it together back in we talked about in 2021, but we saw it together with a couple of other friends in 2015, I think was the last time I saw anything from it when I last paid attention. Yeah, yeah. And so the fact that Salad Fingers has a new episode airing like sometime this week, I think, or next week, that feels so weird to me. Like straight up at this point, I'm expecting Charlie the Unicorn to also pop out of nowhere just to capture more people. Because the fact that I can now sometimes say, Charlie, you bit me, and people don't get that reference hurts my soul. Granted, Llamas with Hats, that did get some episode updates until it ended. It's a magical Leopleurodon, Charlie. Take us to Candy Mountain. Gosh, I should probably rewatch that series just for nostalgia's sake. It's been years. You know, gotta say, I didn't know how this was going to turn out, but with how inconsistent the silver is layering onto the canisters, I think it's actually working for what I want. Hey man, better Newgrounds than fucking Live Leak. I think I'm too young to know what you're talking about. No worries. Like, Anthony, I'm gonna be honest. Newgrounds, like, I was on Newgrounds as a kid. And sure, I definitely played some of the porn games that were on there more than I should have. But let's be real, a lot of minors on the internet just look up porn. That's just a normal. It shouldn't be a normal thing, but it absolutely is. I was part of that demographic. But no, it's growing up with like the fact that our friends would go to Live Leak on the school computers. It's like, oh yeah, I watched a beheading. I watched somebody die this week. Just an average Tuesday. Like the Live Leak kids are the ones who scare me the most. Because I have gone on to 4chan from time to time. Granted, when I go into 4chan, it's mostly for VTuber boards. Because I think the VTuber posts are absolutely hilarious. But Newgrounds was interesting. Live Leak is what made the scary kids. I was on TG for a second there. Sashay for like a season. You know what? That's fair. I used to, like, on my old phone, I had an app that made it easy to just read and browse through 4chan. And so I just went on, I found a couple of boards I liked, followed those, and didn't really care about much else. I remember there was a anime board, like, community that I was following for a while. But instead of talking about anime, the most part, they just talked about JAV stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. I came to look at funny anime women, not actual JAV actresses. I didn't come for those details. Of course, out of morbid curiosity, I absolutely clicked on some of those pages because I'm like, what in the hell is this? But yeah, no. 4chan, I'm glad, was lawless and the Wild West for as long as it was. Just because, one, the memes from 4chan are immaculate, but also because it really does show what people truly think when they can post anonymously. That, and also there are some roasts I learned from that website that I absolutely stole. Because they were too good to not remember and use for future reference. Let's see. The thing I took away was Magical Girl Noir Quest, which is of questionable value. You know what? That's fair. Sometimes we get questionable things, other times we find phenomenal things. Give me Magical Girl Karn the Betrayer. Yeah, no, I'd say that's worth something. I'd say it is. I may not be the best or most objective judge, but I would say it is. Also, all guardsmen party. All guardsmen party. I don't know about that one. Oh. Honestly, that sounds like a good idea. Nothing but guardsmen. Especially because some of the factions in 40k are just ludicrous with some of the BS they get. So keeping it simple to shoot, stab, charge. I can see that going pretty well. Plus, if IG grunts getting involved with a bunch of inquisitorial nonsense with the subtlety you'd expect from a bunch of grunts. I love it. Oh, thinking of which, that reminds me. There was a post that a meme account I follow posted a while back. Well, no, it was earlier this week actually, where it was the idea was Blackadder for as a comedy series for Warhammer 40k. Just because for anybody who has seen Blackadder, it's a phenomenal comedy series. It was a British comedy series that Rowan Atkinson made. For those who don't know Rowan Atkinson by name, he's the guy who played Mr. Bean and voiced Zazu in the original Lion King movie. But he's a famous British comedian, and he just made a series going over British history while making a comedy about it, so it was factual and informative, but had some good moments. And somebody posted the idea of a Blackadder Imperial Guard series, which, for those who've seen Blackadder, Blackadder had a World War I for its final season run, and so you could easily just repurpose the comedy of, oh, it's grunts in the trench getting ready for the inevitable day when they have to go over no man's land and fight the Germans. There was some really good historical comedy, but it was really informative. I liked it a lot. And so Sure, Henry Cavill getting stuff with Amazon, that's good and all, but I want to see Rowan Atkinson just do Blackadder but for Warhammer 40k, because I think that would just be very fun. Oh. Also, I'm realizing just how much harder I've made this on myself. I have a paint handle. Why am I not using it? Be much easier if I was smart enough to remember to use the tools I have at my disposal. Okay. Just gonna set up, move it like this. Yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah, yeah. A Caiaphas Cain show would be really good for it. Because that would definitely work. But we can dream for the coolest things to happen. There's always a chance that things will happen. There's a chance they won't happen. But hey, never know. However, knowing Games Workshop, we probably won't see the Henry Cavill series until 2032. At the earliest, I would say. Not because I don't want to see it, but because, gosh dang, if even half or even an eighth of all the rumors are true, shit's been going down for so long. I can imagine it's production hell. Though I will say, I've been trying to convince some more of my friends to actually watch Blackadder. Because so far, the only person I know who has seen Blackadder, because I live in the US, and so British comedies, although I was raised on them, they are not common with everybody in the area. My grandmother was the one who showed it to me, and she's the only one I know of who knows of the Blackadder series. I have been trying to get my history friends, like my friends who are history buffs, to watch Blackadder, and so far I have not been successful. I've also fallen into a new trap because talking this much about Warhammer, I now have the one of the Dark Tide songs stuck in my head. It's the Disposal Unit Imperial remix. Because I listen to that when I go to the gym from time to time. That's now stuck in my head. So, for some reason, tonight is a night of me remembering things and getting them stuck in my head. I swear. After stream is either going to be the weirdest nostalgia binge or I'm just going to be stuck. Yep. Yeah. Which I really want to play Darktide. I just don't have a computer that can run it. But one day, I hope to be able to buy it. Oh well. The boss has been so power capped that you get multiple of them mid-level along with other bosses because Havoc is a reasonable game mode. Oh boy. I did not expect power creep, but you know what? Fair. I feel like what I want to do. Power creep is huge talking about the community right now. Really? Damn. On the one hand, I can definitely see how that it would become one, but that is a little disheartening. I'm gonna need to take my knife and cut off the excess glue that's moved around on the pipe. I think what I want to do is I'm gonna do a light dusting of silver right here, but I need to see if I can fill the cracks on the eye with something. New class is kind of absurd and the ogre and rework is busted. Ah. Yeah, they added in the Arbites, right? I've heard the Arbites class was pretty strong, especially because the dog gets... I hear that you can just spec all your abilities into the dog, and so you are just guy with gun doing, shooting the occasional person, and the dog just eviscerates a crowd. I didn't know if that was true or not, but that's just what I've heard from some people talking about Darktide since the Arbites class released. The only person I follow who streamed it regularly was Swan, but I haven't really checked in on her stuff in a while either. Mostly just because I just haven't had time. The dog isn't even the strongest part. Bill Wright, the Arbites kind of just can't die. Ah, okay. While also having scary bossing. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Okay. He is sufficiently silvered now. Time for the pink one. But yeah, no, there's just been a lot of interesting Warhammer stuff. And I'm glad to, because so far for Warhammer, the only stuff I've been able to play as far as video games are concerned is I originally got the Sisters of Battle VR game, which I like it. I mean, I like VR gaming, but it definitely feels like VR gaming is more of a fad and a flash in the pan than an actual series, which for me kind of sucks because I did buy an actual Oculus Quest 2. At the time it was an Oculus Quest 2. Now Oculus is owned by Meta, and so it's gone through some stuff. But I really liked the Sisters of Battle game. It was fun. I enjoyed being able to just grab a bolter and blast away heretics as a Sister of Battle with a squad of other Sisters of Battle and a Black Templar Astartes. I thought that was fun. The ending in the story, not necessarily the best, because it's kind of obvious what was going to happen, but it was all right. I mean, you start by killing cultists, and eventually you're killing Necrons. And so, it's a fun progression. I liked it as a game. And then I played Rogue Trader because my computer could handle that back for a little while. And Rogue Trader was just fun. It's D&D but Warhammer. So, understandably, I am going to get heavily involved in that. Yeah, it is a very good CRPG. I like it because your choices matter. It really feels like your choices determine your future and your destiny. Yeah, no, I think Rogue Trader is really good. My main issue with Rogue Trader is there's so much chaos, everything in the beginning. And the thing is, you know, from a lore standpoint, I typically tend to be, when it comes to CRPGs, I'm kind of I don't want to say a fence sitter, but I'm typically kind of the iconoclast type character. As long as I'm benefiting from it, I will allow some evil to happen. The problem is, I I'm willing to let evil happen on the Xenos side, but I'm not willing to let chaos happen. And so because of that, there's so many things where I'm like, yeah, I'd like to be an iconoclast so that I can talk with the Eldar and maybe recruit one or three into my entourage. I can't really do that if everything in the beginning just has to deal with chaos. Because I'm not going to use chaos. I'm not going to give into the power. I'm not going to chase my dead ancestor's ghost around. Like, that's just not going to happen. And so, the beginning of Rogue Trader, I think, is good if you... I think it's more involved if you are willing to let chaos happen, or if you just want to be dogmatic from the get-go. If you want to be dogmatic from the get-go, it's got a phenomenal opening. As somebody who is hoping to be more iconoclast, I didn't really get to be an iconoclast until after everything happened and I got to the Eldar and the Dark Eldar story segments. From there, I could be an iconoclast, and I felt like I was able to make more decisions that were open for me. Just because, again, I don't like chaos. As an Iron Warriors fanboy, chaos is not exactly my friend. But with the iconoclast featuring, hey, maybe chaos isn't so bad, we just let a little happen. It's like, no, that's how corruption gets through. I am not letting my ship get taken over by a bunch of word bearers. If I got a ship full of chaos cultists, I'm screwed. I'd rather not deal with that. And so, it was fun. I enjoy it. The combat was good. I liked the characters you could recruit and everybody who was involved. I'm sad I couldn't romance Argenta, but Cassia was a really fun romance option too. I liked Cassia a lot. So, I might lament not being able to romance Argenta, but Cassia is a solid character. So, I'm not exactly hurting for content there anyway. But I also found out how to break the combat in that game by using Cassia and making her the most OP character in the group. So I feel like if I did a run without using Cassia, it would probably be harder. Just because for anybody who's played Rogue Trader, Cassia has an ability that every time somebody takes an extra turn, you increase her willpower. I think it's her willpower. It's a stat that starts with W. Basically, that whatever stat it is that you raise every time somebody takes an additional turn during combat, that is tied directly to all of her warp powers. It is like the base stat for damage on her warp abilities. And so all you need to do is just stack that one ability with 3 characters that can give other people extra turns, and all of a sudden, oh hey, we just took 7 extra turns, now Cassia can nuke the board. So on the one hand, Cassia is a really good character. I like her story, I like how she acts. On the other hand, she is a god among men when it comes to combat in Rogue Trader. And so, she quickly became my favorite as I played the game. But yeah, outside of that, those are kind of the only 2 games I've played so far for video game side of Warhammer. I'd like to play the Space Marine games, but I'm on a laptop that is kind of not the best for games, so I don't really play much there. But I definitely like to play the Space Marine games. They looked really good. And then I think there is I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was a CRPG style game, at least the combat was, that involved the... Ah, crap, what are they called? The Mechanicus. It was the Mechanicus that were fighting the Necrons in some sort of CRPG style combat system. I remember seeing some excerpts and hearing about it, and I definitely want to try that out sometime. If you want a deep cut, Last Stand mode from Dawn of War 2 is so good. I'll have to look into it. I actually haven't played Dawn of War yet. I do like strategy games, so an RTS game is definitely up my alley, so I do need to give the Dawn of War series a try. Because I've only heard good things, and as somebody who wants more strategy games, definitely something I should do. The Mechanicus game is literally just called Mechanicus. I'm glad John Warhammer spent a lot of time coming up with that name. Want Total War for my birthday? No, that's fair. I hope you get it, man. I hear only good things about Total War. And I think I'm gonna go over these guys, because I've done a couple layers of this purple, and although I like the purple, it's not showing up well on the black base. Now, stand mode is like a proto-MOBA where it's based on RTS, but you're playing a single character with a bunch of items for a build. Ooh, okay. Okay, I like that. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and do a base coat, and then I'm going to throw this purple on again to see if that shows up any better. Because so far, I'm not liking how this base has turned out. So sorry, I just need to shake a bottle up real quick. I thought you Total War, but it's Dawn of War, sorry. Hey, no, either way. I have a friend who's been telling me to get Total War for a while, because he plays it and he's enjoyed it. It's like his only exposure to like the Warhammer series for the most part. But he liked it a lot. He said that it's worth getting, so it's on my list as well. Dawn of War and Total War are both things I want to try, because I don't have either. I also technically have the Star Wars RTS game, and I never actually played it. I bought it years ago on Steam because I saw it, because I was looking for Star Wars games years and years ago. I bought it, but I never played it. Granted, I think that's a story for a lot of people for Steam stuff is, I bought it, I just didn't quite play it. Okay. I think this will work better now. Okay, so shifting gears back, the painting so far, I'm, like I said earlier, this isn't, I like this color purple. It's not drying too well despite multiple coats. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw some of my Macragge blue as a base coat on there, and then I'm gonna go back over with that purple again to see if that shows up any better. Because I'm hoping if I can just give it more of a overall coat that stands out a bit more, I'm hoping that helps the purple stand out once I throw it back on. That's the idea, at least. We shall see how it actually turns out. We're going to start with the fan favorite rat with the shark sword. Just gonna try to coat that. Because I think the strength with the silver, at least, is that since I'm hoping for it to be grimy already, the silver not layering on evenly was kind of to my advantage. Have a good night, Anthony. Take care. I'll see you later, man. Hope you get some good sleep, though. Thank you, thank you. Hopefully everything turns out well. I have faith, but we will see once everything's said and done. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, man. Okay. Just a coat. Seeing blue on Skaven sword. Yeah. It's just kind of the best, coat color I have right now. And since I just need a base coat so I can make the purple show up more because it's not showing up all in the black, I figured if I throw a blue base coat on, it'll probably be better once I throw the purple back on top. However, we shall see. Until then, yeah, they're going to look a little weird, especially because it's Macragge blue. So we got default Space Marine blue going over Skaven. So, in a sense, it feels a little heretical. But my favorite Space Marine Legion is the Iron Warriors, so heresy is kind of something I do. Yeah, yeah. Calm and Skaven is not a phrase. That is not something that describes them. But that is how it goes. I mean, I was drawn to this faction because they're anything but calm. That's the fun part about them. Yeah, hopefully the blue just turns into a nice base coat so that I can just paint purple over. And so it shows up more, because the purple right now is kind of turning a bit more of a burgundy color over the black. I also should probably figure out and save up to buy an actual airbrush, because I see a lot of people talking about how nice and useful an airbrush is, but I've never actually owned one, so I don't quite know how that would go. Granted, I didn't know anything about painting until I literally picked up a paintbrush and started painting minis, because my friend back for Christmas last year bought me the D&D kit that comes with its own paint and brush to paint this mini, and I found out I enjoyed this quite a bit, so I kept going. So, we shall see. I will say though, despite the hand always snapping off, I do like the kit bash that we did with giving just a little globe on a chain for his hand. Just wondering, is purple your favorite color? Yeah, purple is absolutely my favorite color. I like purple and green as a combination, but purple is my favorite color. I definitely try to use purple quite a bit, just because I think it's a fun color that sticks out a bit, but also because I see a lot of other bigger people. A lot of them use like a lot of other colors, but I see purple in a handful of times, but not as consistently as like red, blue, and whatever. And I kind of just like purple as an overall aesthetic. But that's also because purple is, as somebody said earlier in chat, is a very poison coated color. And poison is my favorite type of Pokemon, and it's my favorite attribute in the Pokemon series. So I am a little biased. But overall, it just works well with my motif, and it's my favorite color, so I just figured to build stuff around there. Hey, Shenanigans, how's it going? Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair, James, that's fair. Yeah. Thank you, Shenanigans. So far, I've been having a little trouble with painting up my rats. I wasn't getting the colors to show up as brightly as I wanted for the purples. And so I'm just giving all of them a blue base coat, and then I'm just going to paint purple on top of it to see if that makes the purple shine a bit more. Just because the purple over the black, it wasn't going too well over the black primer. Da-da. But yeah, been having fun with the rats recently. I also have another kit for the rats that I need to build sometime. But for now, I just want to stick with the momentum I have for this guy, or this squad, and see how it turns out. So I can experiment with colors, I can experiment with how I want to build everything, and I'll just go from there. Payment fourth mini is Ultramarine, and his name is Rupert. Ah, okay. Well, that's exciting. I don't really have any Ultramarines. I kind of started out weird by just going with Dark Krakens as my first Legion. That's not even a finished one, so that doesn't look as good. Hold on. Ah, there we go. So my first Legion has its own custom colors that I've been messing around with a little bit. But I've enjoyed the Space Marines so far. However, I wanted to get Skaven just because Skaven are just legendary in their own right as being merciless little Geneva Convention violators. Because sure, this is Warhammer, everybody violates the Geneva Convention. The Skaven, however, they make it a competition to do it within a few minutes. And I appreciate that. Okay. Just need to clean off this brush. Oh. Okay, a moment of truth. Because now we'll see how well the purple shows up after a blue base coat. They are the Usain Bolt of war crimes. Yeah. That's why I love the little squeakas. I also like how the community just gave the Skaven their own slur just for the hell of it. And it kind of works. Yes, it does. Yep. But at the same time, Skaven, I feel like, kind of go off the same logic as Todd Howard from Skyrim is. You just use the Todd Howard quote. It just works. It just works. Do we really know why or how? No. But it just works. Okay, I will say, I think the purple is showing up a lot more vibrantly, and it kind of mixes with the blue to give it an interesting color shift. I do like this a lot. So, we are so base coat with Macragge blue, definitely the right call. Despite it looking weird that I was giving Skaven blue. But, nevertheless, we will figure that out as time goes on. Ugh. Also, pardon me, I gotta itch my arm. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So far I've been... The purple definitely shows up a bit more. But I think as well, with how thin the purple is coming out, it's kind of perfectly just going over the blue and mixing. So it gives it kind of a... It gives a very uneven coating feel, which I think is to its strength, because it's definitely helping. You know, Skaven aren't supposed to be clean, neat, and tidy. So having that deep blue underneath and giving it different tones of pigments, it makes it look like these were hastily dyed rather than perfect, like done by a professional. So I like how it's turning out so far. Though, enough time has passed. Let's see victim number 1. For the most part, still drying for the purple. But from what has dried, I think we've got a winner for my favorite color so far. So we got that going. Get some coats on this guy, and then we're going for the other guy. So we get this purple thrown on. But yeah, no. I am liking the color so far. And I think it's good because this will mean that the green really stands out once I throw the green on the glowing orbs and the tubes. So I'm very excited to see where and how this all turns out. So far, I think we got a winner. But I also want to get a squad of just regular Skaven, the melee combat focused guys, and just paint them. I mean, red kinda is like the default color for them, but I'm wondering if there might be a different color that I can do to just make them seem a bit more insane. But I don't know. Because my go-to when I can is I want to find something that meshes with purple. But I feel like for the Globadiers, the Acolyte Globadiers, since they deal in poison, purple's kind of fine with them. But I feel like if I was going to do normal Skaven, purple wouldn't make as much sense. Okay, I tried muting. I hope that worked. I don't know if you guys could hear me for the past few minutes or not. I was having a conversation with my grandfather. But I don't know how well YouTube's streaming stuff works. I heard not. Okay, fair enough. Hopefully that means that toggle works. Now, if only they gave me a toggle for music like TikTok does. Like, I don't like streaming on TikTok. Oh, you heard nothing? Okay. Like, I don't like streaming on TikTok because I've tried it before, but I got a lot of reactions, but I didn't really get questions or engagement. Nobody said anything. And so the chat always felt weird. So, however, the one thing that TikTok has over YouTube is that TikTok had an integrated music finder, so you could get royalty-free music to play on your lives just while you do things. And it was kind of nice because then I could listen to a little bit of music while I talk to people and paint. But I just didn't like how people on TikTok would act on live chat, so I just left. I mean, if I had my choice, I'd probably be streaming on Kick, but that's for a later date when I am a bit more technologically adept. And for now, I need to clean off my brush real fast. Oh. Okay. Then we're getting the pink on this one. Let us see how well it shows up after the blue base coat, because I'm very curious. Ooh, yeah, that is very pink. Which, honestly, I'm kind of okay with, simply for the fact that I've got a piece of coral in front of him. So being able to do like an orange coral like I did on my mermaid, on my jellyfish mermaid, would probably be nice in setting things off. To explain a little bit about me by jellyfish mermaid is this mini. I did a yellow base coat and then I threw some orange speed paint over the top of the yellow table corals, because it reminded me of table coral from Subnautica. So that's what I was trying to go with when I was painting that base. Oh, my back. But yeah, that was kind of on my mind. Thinking of which, I kind of lost interest in Subnautica. I remember I loved the first game. I bought it early access after I saw Markiplier's series on it. And the game wasn't even finished yet. So I was really excited. I bought it, I played it, I enjoyed it a lot. And then I saw everything about what was supposed to be a DLC, then later turned into its own side game, Below Zero. And I kind of lost interest the more changes happened. Like, I don't know if any of you guys played Subnautica or knew much about it. But like Below Zero... Oh, yes? Okay, yeah. Then you'll know where I'm going with this then. Because like with Below Zero, when I first saw it, I was there with everybody when they dropped the first hint at what it was going to be like. And you were just on the base, stationed there from the get-go, and your sister was on a satellite and it was kind of your eye in the sky that you'd have banter with back and forth. Then they reworked the entire narrative so that now your sister has disappeared, or died, I think it was. Like, she died, and you were going to go investigate the shady corporation of Altera to find out what actually happened to your dead sister, and then you meet an alien, and then alien invades your mind. I didn't like the new change to the narrative, only because, look, I get it. Shady Corporation is a narrative storytelling device. It's very common, and it's good. And because it's a good narrative device, a lot of people use it. But I'm kind of tired of every corporation being super shady. Like, Altera was already, like, gimmicky, joke shady back in the first game when you return home and you get fined for all the diamonds and precious resources you used on the planet to get back home. And so you were, like, billions in debt by the time you got back home after escaping the planet. And sure, that was a funny moment at the end, but I didn't like how they were just going into, oh yeah, there's a cover-up, there's this issue, there's that issue. It's like, just kind of lost the sauce for me. I understood what they were doing, I just wasn't the biggest fan of it. And also, I liked the original idea for the narrative better of having your sister be in your eye in the sky watching over you as you just try to navigate and figure things out. I think that would have been cooler. Just having a talking alien inside your head while trying to learn about your dead sister. I just didn't. I don't know. I had no interest. It just wasn't the kind of story I liked. And then I remember that there was a media buzz because they fired the original 3 creators of Subnautica from the game studio that published it. And so now, original 3 creators are gone, Subnautica can go anywhere, and I just don't know if I'm even interested in giving that a shot. Like, I like Subnautica, but if we've already lost the original creators who are attributed to it, I don't know if I have enough faith to just see what people do. Because Subnautica was cool in the fact that it was just new, it was scary in the unknown, and how it forced you to go against it while being virtually defenseless. And nah, I just wasn't that interested. Besides, if they were going to go for anything in the future with Subnautica, they already established a storyline that they should follow. That now, if they don't follow it, a lot of people are just going to be unsatisfied with the fact that they set up an entire storyline with, what's her name? It's the protagonist for the ice game. I don't even remember her name. But she went exploring to the alien world with Alan. And so we kind of have that whole story to follow up on. And it'd be really unsatisfying if they just up and said, yeah, we set that up and we're just leaving it. So we can do another game of Subnautica rehashed. Yeah, in the first game, it was like Riley was like the dude's name, I think. But then second game, she had like the new character that talks all the time. She has a name, I just don't remember it. Again, I didn't play the game, I just got a story synopsis after watching a Let's Play, because I wasn't interested in purchasing the new game. But yeah, that's just kind of a me thing. I'm not going to say that it's bad just because I don't like it, but I am going to say that I definitely lost interest because I just didn't like it. So I don't know. I have played Subnautica from time to time because I do like logging in, gathering resources, and building a massive base in places I shouldn't. It's fun. But I don't know. I feel like they would just have to try a new game style altogether if they're going to continue the story that they set up. Or if they want to do Lightning in a Bottle and redo Subnautica 1, or keep the gameplay loop that they're already using, then I feel like if they do that, they have to find a way to address the Ice Games story while giving you a new story to work with. Like, feel me? It just doesn't feel like there's a cohesive way to tie the narrative right now. Yes, okay, yeah. I'm glad we can agree on that. Because I always feel crazy whenever I talk about video games at times, because I feel like I typically have the differing opinion on things. And trust me, from my time being in the speech and debate team, I can play the contrarian no problem. I enjoy it from time to time. But it feels good when some people actually agree with my opinion rather than just me feeling crazy. However, also, on a side tangent on something else, I've been very excited about the success I've gotten on my videos as well. I need to go back and respond to some more comments because I haven't been able to keep up with them. But there's some really interesting stuff that people mentioned on some of my videos, and I really do appreciate that people have been commenting on them. Like the Star Wars video that I did a while back, I need to respond to a lot of comments on that video. I like the comments that people left, and it's why I want to respond, but there's so many I have not been able to keep up with them. Okay. A little bit more green. Yeah. Yeah, that Star Wars one. That I've made a couple of scripts to do other Star Wars video discussion stuff because I want to talk about the premise of bleeding a kyber crystal and why I don't like how it's evolved since its initial showcase. But that is a whole video I need to finish editing, and I actually need to record the audio for it. Because, you know, I grew up loving and watching and reading everything Star Wars when I was a kid. Very much something that I spent a lot of time on. But things happen, and things get crazy over time. That, and also just with how busy I've been with work, I have not been able to do my videos as quickly as I wanted to. Because I've got like 3 anime review videos that I need to also finish doing. But I have not been able to get those done either. Like, because I want to make one about love flops, but I also wanted to do a special song cover for it, just to shake things up a bit. But I haven't been able to find anybody who can do a cover of the song I want to use. And then there's also Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. I want to finish my video on that. And then I want to do my video on Call of the Night, because that was another anime that I really liked. And I want people to watch it. So I want to make a video talking about it and trying to convince people, hey, yeah, watch this. You should do it. Well, yeah, but still. It might be in my hands, but at the end of the day, it's in my hands. I can choose what to juggle and what not to juggle. I just need to hammer down and actually focus on finishing one at a time, and I'll be able to do it. I just have not committed to actually doing that as I should. That's kind of been to my detriment, but that's just how it goes. Okay. How do I want to go about the sword? Because we've got the green for the warp stone and the poison. So we got the poison part down. The robes are purple, silver for the canister. I just need to get the contrast paint to make it all dirty. How do I want to do the sword? Because I don't want to do silver. Yes, thank you, YouTube. I'm very excited to be... Oh, I'm trying to think. I mean, I could use copper. Do I have a copper color? Pale or brown? Definitely not gold. Got a bronze. That's kind of close to copper. Yeah, closest I got to copper would be, I've got a bronze color. So we'll try that. I just gotta shake this for a few seconds to get all mixed up like normal. Okay. All right. Let's go about painting the shark sword. Well, that does layer quite nicely. Much better than the silver did. Honestly, I think that stands out well enough. We're going to keep it. We are going to go with that. That's fair, James. That's fair. But thank you for the suggestion, James. I think we're just going to go with this color, because I think that sticks out well enough. Then a little bit more of this. I'm going to throw it on the spikes as well. So technically I'm aware that the end of the sword here is technically not a pommel, but the part of the sprue I didn't clip off when I first cut this arm out. But I kind of like the idea of him just having a really jank pommel at the end of the sword. I'm gonna try something a little risky. I'm gonna try getting some green into the sword, just to make it look like there's some poison going into, or it was inlaid in a blade. Okay, you know what, James? That's true. That's true. That's true. Okay, just gonna. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Oh my gosh, yes, okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. I was terrified I might screw that up, but so far we're going good. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can breathe kind of easy, because the green is showing up really well so far. Just gotta be very careful as I get this last part. Okay. Okay, overall. Bronze on the sword with green inlaid on the, oh crap, what's the name of this? Oh, I'm a failure of a blacksmith. Fuller, that's it. Putting inlaying green inside the fuller on the shark sword really makes that stand out. I like that a lot. So we got on the side that matters. So let's get it in the side that doesn't matter. Because it's going to bother me if I paint it on one side and I don't do the other. Oh, what fell now? Oh, okay. That scared me for a second. Okay. Moment of truth, we're going to dot the I. Man, that is not filling in too well. But that's okay. I can just deal with that later. So I don't know. I apologize that my camera's not focusing too well on this part. Just trying to. Okay, well. Okay. So far, Shark Sword is doing phenomenally well. I'm really excited with how this came out. So let's get the rest of the sword painted up because I need to get the rest of that guard done. I think I'm going to do silver for the main bulk, and then I'm going to try to do the Macragge blue on the shark and give a Fenrisian gray on top, just so that's kind of like a blue-gray mix. I think I'm just going to return to the bronze for the giant shark and the pommel. Well, sorry, and the guard. I feel like doing the blue and the blue-gray might just be a little too much for what the rest of the mini is. So I think I'm going to go with just making that bronze as well. Now, had I thought about the fact that we were going to do a poison inlay on the blade, I probably would have made an extra little tube so I could try to stick it to the back of his tank to connect the sword and the tank together. However, I did not think that far ahead, so we are just going to roll with it. Okay. We're not done yet, but I don't think my back can take streaming anymore, so I'd say overall we made some good progress. I like what we have so far with all of the guys. The base coat worked well. I think the sword is really the standout thing we've done today so far. Just because the bronze with the green inlay for the poison, everything standing out. I think we're on track. I think we're doing good. I just need to break out my brown so I can get all the leather colored in. So that way afterwards I can dirty everything up with my snakebite leather contrast paint. But I'd say we've got some good work for now. So thank you everybody for showing up for tonight. I do apologize, it's a bit of a shorter stream. It's just, you know how it goes. I injured my back, so I'm not sure I can keep this up for much longer. But thank you guys for showing up, and I will see you guys whenever I see you next. Take care until then.